Welcome to
time.
episode 9. Yes, it is apparently time to see what Kiwi has been talking about, why she holds this show in such high regard. Honestly, there's so many connections that you could make, spanning from episode 1 all the way to episode 8, and a lot of things that I probably still I'm not getting right. I don't know. There's a lot of emotion and a lot of feelings and a lot of undertones here that are very subtle. Hopefully this episode is going to clear things up for me.
Yes,
as Kiwi says.
I cannot wait.
And apparently, there is a potential that I'm gonna cry like a bitch, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, wait, before you start. Do you think there will be the song reveal in this episode or in the next episode? When do you think it will happen? Like, or on this episode or in the later episodes? When do you think the song reveal will be really?
I'm assuming that the song is going to be like the climax of the series, and I don't know if having the climax be before the end of the series and then have like the last few episodes be like some like cleanup episodes in a way, or having it at like the last episode to like really send off the series with a bang until, you know, the movie, of course.
The movie has its own song, which I won't be talking about the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to see this song in this episode, so I'm just gonna say this episode. Just because I want to see it. like you keep humming it and then they're like, oh shit, oh, I'm not trying to spoil it. But
yeah, I won't say if it's in this episode or later episode. I won't say anything because that's a spoiler. And I collected my inside right now. Yeah, basically, when I was first watching this, I hated the teasing. I was so annoyed at the teasing. The teasing of the song annoyed me. And then when it finally showed up, I was like, oh.
Hopefully it's not just the la 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 thing that we heard in the first few episodes, because that would hurt. All right, well, I'm gonna start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Boom. Whoosh. Bitch.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah, exactly. This was the scene that I was talking about that I remembered. That's literally just like a metaphor for this series, actually. That Uenoyama is gonna be the one that helps fix his string. Yeah, I see. Oh no, big sister.
君が置いてた物語の僕のすべてになったら Now read the lyrics. I'm going to give even more hints because I want you to understand.
Well, we'll see how stupid I am first. But I mean, the string fixing thing was pretty obvious.
Some people didn't understand it, so I thought that I'd point it out. Because, I don't know, some people needed like a thorough explanation why it's what, so. 出荷修道360もね
I mean, you are talking to a fan of Monogatari series. There might be some things that I missed because it's my first time watching, but we'll see.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to tell you everything at the end of
So I'll try to
Oh
focus.
yeah, this episode has after credits.
Okay. I mean, we always watch the ED anyway, so best
I'll
ED.
be right back.
All right. Everything that you left behind became my life. Oh god.
Jackie-chan.
Bruh, Take-chan. Absolute Chad.
Dad.
He has to buy them time. This is great. Why did they show that man? He has to have some sort of importance.
100%.
What if that's like Mafu's dad?
100%.
Like, yeah, you don't just randomly show, like, you don't, like, throughout the entire series, like, the side characters that are important, they don't even draw their face. It must be great to be young. Oh, Cabedon. Well, technically not, but. Yes, for the people that didn't get it.
There's more meaning behind it.
Dude, Take. Best girl. No. I think it's time to sing, dude. Unless if they're gonna have like a redo of this. Police taking away his father.
Mm.
He just sort of left too. Oh god. Hmm. Hmm. Now that begs the question, did he always, or did he just realize?
This episode went by really quickly. Okay.
It did. We were very silent during that reaction.
Yeah, I teared up. There was a
you
tear
did?
running down my right cheek. Yeah. I always tear up at that. Basically, we can talk about the strings right now. I'm going to shut up when the after the scenes thing shows up. Basically, how I took it personally from the first episode, from the 8th episode, and from the 9th episode is basically like you said, the strings basically represent Mafuyu's
Yes, I have succeeded.
Mafuyu's feelings. So
Yeah.
every time something bad would happen to Mafuyu, which would kind of hurt him in the feelings because, like you said, Mafuyu is an introvert and he doesn't really speak up about his feelings. He's really bad at it, like he says. So whenever that would happen, he would break a string, which would basically represent his heart. His heart would break. So when he saw Yuki hanging, he broke a string. When so and then comes back to the meeting of Uenoyama and Mafuyu. For the first time, okay, I'm going to shut up right now.
Here we go. The beach scene, when he went to the beach. Like in episode 6. Doesn't he also turn to see like a child laughing or something?
Yeah, that's basically because his father abused him, so.
I see. Just like the ocean washing away their footprints. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, I got a lot of things to talk about. So, like I was saying, strings are the same as Mafuyu's heart. And from the very beginning, Uenoyama would always be like, oh, may I fix your strings? He never was actually like, oh, I'll fix them for you. He was always asking for permission, basically asking to fix his heart for him. And in the scene where he was changing the strings, he said it himself that strings are kind of like a heart.
Yeah.
And he also asked him, "Oh, may I fix your strings?" And that's when I guess Mafuyu kind of understood that he likes Uenoyama as well. No, Mafuyu knew from the very beginning. Like, Mafuyu knew that, he just didn't want to accept it. That's how I see it. Because he had those feelings left from Yuki.
Yeah.
Those feelings of guilt, because he basically told him to go and kill himself in that little fight.
So he feels guilty from that. He feels like he was responsible for Yuki's death, which is also why the other people hold him responsible for it. Like when they first met with the lightning-haired dude.
That's also why Pudding feels really responsible for it, because like he said, he was there when they had the little fight. And he also knew that Yuki took a bunch of booze when he couldn't handle it. And now onto Yuki, which wasn't even confirmed or anything, but it's a fan theory. Fans suggest that Yuki was suffering from a really bad depression because he didn't grow up having a dad, and also because he was really stressed with the whole music thing and everything, and stuff was starting to go down with Mafuyu as well because they spent a lot of time away from one another. So basically he was apparently suffering from depression. That's a fan theory. And when Mafuyu simply told him, "Go and kill yourself," it was kind of something that broke in Yuki, which made him hang himself, which is also why a lot of fans are saying that Mafuyu's and Uenoyama's relationship isn't a good idea, because they're saying that Uenoyama is basically a replacement for Yuki when he's clearly not. That's not how I took it. And you also got answers why Mafuyu is spacing out so much. Why he was spacing out much more as the concert was coming to close than he was at the beginning, but he was still really spacey.
Because he sees Yuki everywhere. Yeah, like Yuki's basically tied in with the music, with the melody, but at the after credits scene with the ocean waves washing it away, it's sort of like he's going to have to eventually forget about this, or well, move on is a better term.
And that's why I was really excited for the movie. I'm not sure if they're going to make another movie which focuses on Uenoyama and Mafuyu, but I'm still going to spoil you anyway. I'm sorry. In the manga, while the other relationship is going on, which I won't spoil you on, another relationship is going on, they're writing another song. So Uenoyama and Mafuyu are working together to write another song, which I won't spoil how it's called or anything. But it's basically a song about moving on. And in the manga, they basically show both couples going out, basically. They show how Mafuyu is moving on from Yuki as he's going out with Uenoyama, rather than just snapping it in like they did in the movie. And that's why a lot of fan base is saying that Uenoyama is a replacement for Yuki when they don't have the manga content that I do, which is kind of sad. But a lot of fans are really mad at the author because the anime, it's not that the anime made it seem that way, it's just that the movie left out like a big chunk. Movie is 59 minutes long. They couldn't even put it onto 1 hour. I still don't understand why they did that, because if they put the whole, it's like 20 chapters. That's not a lot. That's basically a 2-hour movie with a song. So if they put it onto 2 hours, they would be able to show both relationships for them to make sense and not feel rushed like they did. For me, if I was an anime only and I watched the movie without the context of the manga, I would be like really weirded out with Mafuyu's and Uenoyama's relationship. But I'm not, because I read the manga and I spoiled you anyway, and I'm not sorry. One of the panels in the manga, which represents Mafuyu basically thinking about Yuki in one moment, is when he stays over at Uenoyama's house and he has this one really big clock on the wall. It shows Mafuyu just staring at the clock and then saying out loud, "Oh, Yuki had the same clock in his room." And then basically him just then turning around and talking to Uenoyama like nothing happened. I take that as him kind of thinking about him, but kind of moving on. He wouldn't break down because of that. Yeah, basically. I'm sorry. I went on to a rant because I'm really mad at the movie.
Yeah, it's alright. That you just basically sort of confirmed exactly what I was thinking, and pretty much what the director of this episode was trying to convey as well through cinematography. How I saw it is that, like the guitar, the author is trying to use the instrument as like a comparison to a person, and the strings is like our inner workings. His string breaking is, yes, his heart breaking, his connection to this world breaking. He feels broken, basically. Like a guitar, an instrument cannot work if its strings are broken. And thus, he finds Uenoyama here, who is offering a way to help him be whole again, pretty much.
Yeah, and also for that, there are some fans that are saying that it's not healthy for another person to find another person to be kind of like a replacer for them. To that, I always bring them up to, the scene where Haruki showed Mafuyu how to replace the strings himself, which he was really proud of, which basically is kind of like telling, I can do it myself as well, but it's much better if he has someone next to him. So you can just say that I'm a really big and hardcore fan that doesn't want to like go through with the idea of the show being flawed in its symbolism and the relationships being unhealthy, but I don't see it that way. If I saw an unhealthy relationship, I wouldn't like the show as much as I do, which is why I openly shit on Junji Romantica, because their relationship isn't healthy. It gets healthy over time, but it isn't healthy. So
they did show that particular scene that you're talking about where Mafu fixes his own strings after Uenoyama teaches him in this episode. So that is something that you could infer from as well. But typically speaking, humans are just social animals. We depend on others to survive, no matter what. While it is nice to be independent, there is still a need for socialism, especially for someone as introverted as Mafu here, who has been scarred from his past and his childhood was messed up.
But at the same time, then if people say it like you did, like, so humans are social animals and stuff, you know? It's not that I'm disagreeing with you. It is true. I'm agreeing with you there. I always, how Haruki, you know how the Aki, Ue-sama, and Mafu were both like really shocked when the string broke? Haruki was the one who just nonchalantly came in and was like, what happened? A string broke. Uenoyama, you go and buy a new one. You can just fix it. Which I just took it as, Haruki is the kind of like a pillar that never breaks between the guys. Like he's there. He's like the mother of the group. I'm sorry. That's the only way that's the way that I see it. He basically is one of the guys who just points things out which are obvious to normal people, but to people in the situation they wouldn't really be. Uenoyama was starting to panic, and I think that the last thing that would come to his mind is, let me run to the station and buy a new one. Which is also why I'm pointing out like that Haruki was the one who taught Mafuyu how to fix his own strings.
Wait, so you're saying that Haruki was the one who taught him? Did I get it wrong?
No. Haruki was the one who taught him how to fix his strings alone with his like talking and stuff. That's how I took it. Because Haruki was the one who actually broke the tension between them. And when they showed the scene with Mafuyu saying, Haruki showed me how to fix the strings alone, I was like, Haruki is the one who's teaching Mafuyu how to do it independently, but he also has Uenoyama who he can rely on if he cannot do it independently.
Okay, yeah, so I got it wrong then, because I thought that Uenoyama was the one who taught Mafu how to fix it, but it was Haruki.
Uenoyama. No, Uenoyama.
Okay, what are you referring to here?
Yeah, I'm making it really complicated. I'm sorry. So, how I took it Uenoyama is the one who helped Mafuyu fix his strings. He was the one who taught him how to do it.
I was correct.
And he was the one who helped him how to do it.
Yeah, but you're like referring it to like in a symbolic sense, like during that particular scene in this episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how Haruki is kind of like that one pillar who also teaches, but at the same time helps. Like how he broke the tension, and how he also taught Mafuyu how to fix the strings that he broke before. That's how I took it.
Okay, so, well, I mean, Haruki, he seems to be a very level-headed person, and he is technically like the leader of this band. Every single time the other people like go off and do whatever on their own, Haruki is always the one who has to come in and fix it some way, somehow. Like he was the one who had to tell Take to delay, sing a few more songs, and then when Uenoyama and Mafu just walked off the stage, Haruki has to step in. He's the guy that fixes all the problems.
Haruki is dense as fuck when it comes to human relationships. So
yeah, he's dense when it comes to relationships, but he has a very level head.
Yes.
And
he's really mature.
yeah, in that particular scene when his string broke, I could imagine like people of Mafu's and Uenoyama's age thinking that, oh, this is the end of the world sort of thing, which is what Haruki said. That's like a normal thing for teenagers, to be honest. Like every little thing is like the end of the world, when in reality it's just a string. You can fix it.
That's why Haruki is great. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but...
No. That's exactly what the author meant, to be honest, and, well, what the directing of this particular episode was also referring to. There was also an interesting scene between Haruki and Aki on the stairway. They framed it very interestingly. They showed Haruki, but they kept Aki hidden from that particular angle. I wonder if that's foreshadowing something that happens in the movie.
I won't tell you anything.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be mean here. I won't tell you anything because I just won't.
I mean, there is a reason why they showed that shot, and I kind of have an inkling of it, but
so
I don't have any context anyways.
The way that I took it, and also this was also confirmed for me by Jojo because I watched his like after episode thoughts on it, and he also confirmed it for me after I watched the episode. The way I took it is that Akihiko is also kind of leaning onto Haruki. They show him leaning against the wall and then
well, I mean, he is also literally saying that, yeah, you've always been there to support me personally, and thank you so much and stuff like that.
And then they make a joke about him doing a death flag.
Yeah.
Just super funny.
Well, the last thing that I want to talk about is just that guy that Uenoyama ran into. Yeah, that's probably the dad. Not gonna lie. There's no reason to show it if it's not important.
I think that he's Tama's dad.
Yeah, he's Tama's dad, obviously. Yeah,
Tama's dad.
Definitely.
100%.
Obvious is obvious.
Obvious is obvious.
Okay, well, honestly, to summarize, great episode.
Did you tear up?
Well, between this and episode... Tear up? Not... Between this and episode 6, I think episode 6 was... it's still my #1 episode, to be honest.
Well,
even though this episode gets like a... Yeah, what were you saying?
It's much more well directed, but still, I like how they did it with the song.
Yeah.
I love how they decided to do it. They didn't just play the song. It all tied so well in. And also, the kiss scene. When I first watched it, I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect the kiss scene.
Oh, really?
It happened. It just happened. I didn't expect it. No, I really didn't. I was so under adrenaline and also crying from when I saw the song that I wasn't expecting the freaking kiss to happen.
Okay. I see. Oh, well, I mean, I was very level-headed and I was fully expecting that to happen. So, I mean...
Zero, you're a genius.
No, it's just because I wasn't crying and bawling my eyes out like you probably were during the song, which is why I was able to like, oh yeah, this is still like a romance anime, so that's probably what's gonna happen.
When he freaking started screaming, I got chills, like little chills.
Yeah, like I think that putting the song here in the series is probably for the best because also the song itself helps summarize every single foreshadowing that they've done before this particular episode and also added some more context through the lyrics of the song. I think that's a genius move on their part, and the rest is just maybe like a little more clarification, a little more backstory, a little more exploring into their relationship.
The manga readers were saying how it's dumb. Some, no, I wasn't. Some were saying how it's dumb because some people, when they were watching the anime, didn't notice that it was Mafuyu's dad who was arrested. In the manga, it's like just the whole chapter of Yuki and Mafuyu backstory. It's just them, and it has text. The song that you listen to is probably like one whole chapter of context about Mafuyu's and Yuki's past.
Yeah.
And I love how they summarized it because they basically just put in panels that are important for the story. They didn't have any text. In the manga, you could hear, oh, his dad, so your husband was abusing your son, are you okay, and stuff like that. Two moms talking.
I see.
That's how they got closer. And that's how manga readers knew that it was his Mafuyu's dad that was arrested. But anime only didn't know that.
Well, I mean,
Which makes sense.
I can imagine how you would miss that. But I was just assuming that since we already knew that Mafuyu was abused and that they were arresting a man and Yuki was there with him as just like their childhood household, they're arresting his dad.
That's why I didn't understand what the manga readers meant, because it's pretty obvious. His dad was abusing it and Yuki was like, oh, you know, that's not what real dads do. And he was living with, his mom was an only mom. So he could basically just come to his mom and say, oh, hey mom, I met this guy today and he told me that he was getting abused. And of course, the single mom would just call the police. That would make much more sense. And I didn't understand what the anime only meant by that, because a lot of the fans that I met were really not pissed off at it. They were just confused about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been paying special attention to the show after episode 6, so it could be why. And I mean, I haven't been like emotionally driven by the anime as much as you probably did during your watch through, or like other anime onlys were. So I guess I was able to infer that.
I was connected to the characters from episode 1, so
yeah. I was still like 50-50, like, yeah, it's my first BL show, I'm just gonna dip my toes into here and see how it goes. But honestly, great story writing, great directing, and this series is climbing in my ratings, actually. I really like it, actually. There's so much to dissect and so much foreshadowing. I love it. Well then, I guess I'll end the episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching our lengthy discussion. See you guys in the next episode. Later, dudes.